for Change. I'm Lori, your host, and today is What the Actual F Wednesday, where anything goes. Uh, anything you want to talk about going on in your own life, going on in the country, going on in the world, it is all fair game. And how this all works for those that are new, you can either pop your comments into the live chat. You can click the link in the episode description to join via video. Uh, Joining in that manner also gives you the option of turning off your camera if you don't want to be on camera, and then you can be audio only. Or you can call the number on the screen, and that will bring you in via audio only. Let's see. Go over some little housekeeping. There's another set of merch that I'm working on that I'm waiting for the samples. I've ordered the samples. Right now it's 3 t-shirts and a muscle shirt. And so far so good on what I've received. And then once I get the other two, I'm going to be finishing up putting the store together and getting those up there and out to anyone that's interested. I want to thank everyone for the views, the comments, the subscribers, the likes, the participation. It is very much appreciated. Please feel free to share the link with your friends on all your socials to help build the conversation and the community. And let's just double check, blah, blah, blah. And also on the YouTube channel for the podcast, it isn't just the live streams or the replays of the live streams. There are also short videos that I put out on YouTube that are just a series of different, questions that related to that day's episode. I'm also putting out a series of I'm calling it 60-second self-care. And it's going to be a series of 1-minute videos designed for you to take a 60 seconds for yourself whenever you feel you need to do that. So they're just like meditation videos. It can be breathing techniques, motivational, quotations, those sorts of things. But it's just because part of this process that we're on, may involve, healing from traumas, past traumas, and, just finding ways to take care of ourselves and, be healthier mentally. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So one of the t-shirts that I've designed that it's let me not do that. One of the t-shirts that I've designed that I'm going to pull up a picture of, if I can figure out how to do that. It has the design on the back, and here we go. No, get back here. So we will come over here. It's seen. I can do this, honest to goodness. And that's what it'll say on the back of the t-shirt. That it's a message for the person behind you. And it's just different little reminders of, that we're not alone, that, every person we come across, they may be going through something and they may need some little reminder. I have other t-shirts and sweat jackets, those sorts of things that are along the same vein. And, whether it's a band t-shirt, one of them that I have is it's a Shine Down t-shirt, and it was for their fundraiser for direct relief at the start of the pandemic. And it was in relation to their song Atlas Falls. And if you bought the t-shirt, you got the song for free. And on the back of the t-shirt, it includes, you know, lyrics to the song. That talk about, you know, don't give up now. There's already so much at stake. If Atlas falls, I'll rise up and carry you all the way. And every time I've worn that shirt, I have somebody tapping me, from behind me, tapping me on the shoulder, um, telling me how much they love the shirt, thanking me for wearing the shirt. What are you doing? Oh my God. I will figure out computers one day. I'm not quite a boomer. Um, you know, but it's just the t-shirt is designed along those lines. That the message is for the person behind you. And some of the merch that will be designed will be branded for the podcast. With a lot of like American type themes and US themes. And then there are going to be other t-shirts that will other t-shirts, other merch that will correlate to the different things that I'd like to do and help promote within the community. Just making ourselves better people, for ourselves, for for each other, just in different ways to help bridge the divide, um, to help eradicate the divides. And so today's episode is What the Actual Fuck Wednesday, and it is for just the crazy, crazy, crazy that I know I'm not the only one that sees it. I know I'm not the only one that scrolls through, Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube and doesn't multiple times stop and just shake my head and go like, is this real life? Is this really, is this the Onion? Am I looking at an Onion, article? Because what I'm looking at cannot possibly be a real thing. Uh, and I've had a bunch of that this week. I've had a bunch of, are you kidding me? Where I've come across articles. Wait. No. Let me pull this up. I will get the hang of sharing my screen. I promise. All right, so maybe I need to do this first. Bear with me. Okay, am I here? Are we still? All right. I don't know what I just did, I will. Sorry. Let me do this. And some of just the the dumb shit. The absolute dumb shit. Share screen. Here's one. Okay, so in scene transition. Right. So this is a Facebook ad that former President Trump has put on Facebook. This and seeking money from people, and it's a series of pictures. And this one here with the Chicago police. Now, first, the text of the ad says, "Under Joe Biden, America is a nation in decline." In one of the pictures, there's a picture of a Chicago police vehicle that's on fire, and it looks like somebody's, I don't know, getting ready to throw something at it. I don't know. That picture is from May 30th, 2020, when President Trump was president. And then on the right side, there's a picture of, what looks like people. Well, I mean, it's people crossing a river, walking across a river. It's some adults, some children. And it is designed to appear to be illegal immigrants crossing the Rio Grande into the United States. Except that picture, where did it go? One, it's taken from January 21st, 2020, when President Trump was president. And these people in the picture, they're not crossing from Mexico into the United States. They are crossing from Mexico to Guatemala. And then there's other images of, higher gas prices, not even, which is surprising, not even the, the height of the gas prices, where they were $5, $6 a gallon or more. One of them shows, 242 a gallon. Another one shows 354, which isn't too much higher than what gas was during the pandemic when everyone was home, where the majority of people were home and they weren't driving. So that doesn't make sense. Whoever put this graphic together for the former president, is they you had one job, and then there's what looks like one of the balloons that China sent out, the ones that we shot down. Again, I don't know why that's in there. Like we shot them down, and that sort of image also invites people to point out that there were also balloons during the time that Trump was president, and he didn't shoot them down. But okay, so I got a tickle out of that. Let's see. Oh, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees have been announced. And I don't know if it's just me. And I am all for artists from different, genres or subgenres being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because rock and roll grew out of other genres of music. So if there are people from those genres that rock grew out of, like, um, okay, it makes sense. So this year's nominees to be inducted into the and Roll Rock and Roll Hall of Fame: Kate Bush, Sheryl Crow, Missy Elliott, and she will be the first female rapper inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, The Spinners, DJ Kool Herc, Link Ray, Shaka Khan, Al Cooper, Bernie Taupin, and Don Cornelius. Now, Don, I loved Soul Train, so I love Don Cornelius. I'm really only seeing one rock-ish band on the list, and that's Rage Against the Machine. Some of these artists I've never even heard of, and one would think that if you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame, that everyone's heard of you, or at least a little bit. I mean, congratulations to all of the inductees. I just think it would have been nice to have more than one rock type act on the bill for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, these people all worked hard at their craft. That's great. There should be more than one rock act on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee list. And what crazy... Let's see, we just have Florida is now putting through a bathroom bill where basically you have to go into the bathroom that corresponds to your biological sex. There are a few exceptions. I mean, it does have an exception for intersex. It also gives people, regular, ordinary, citizens, the freedom to ask someone to, leave the bathroom if they don't believe that the person is in the right bathroom. And then if you don't leave, you can be charged with a misdemeanor. If you use the, bathroom to the gender that you identify as opposed to your biological sex, you can be charged with a misdemeanor. I have an issue with I have an issue. I don't want to do that. With these types of bills. I get that they mean well. But as we've previously discussed, women are not concerned about trans women coming into the bathroom. We are concerned about rapists and murderers coming into the bathrooms. We are concerned about rapists and murderers just dressed as they are, or rapists and murderers who think that they can cross-dress, come into a ladies' room and cause harm. That's what we're nervous about. We're not nervous about trans women because we have stalls with doors, so nobody sees what's going on. What's going on in the stall. It it may look fine to some on paper. Some of the comments that were, surrounding the tweet announcing the passing of this bill were, some of them were pretty gross. And nobody is answering the question, if you have someone who's trans, whether it's female to male to female, and from the top up, from the waist up, they, like say they're a trans man, so it's, biological woman, waist up, full beard, more muscled, like looks like a man, but hasn't fully transitioned. So, still has, female genitalia. The bill is saying that this person should, that this person has to use the ladies' room because they have female genitalia, but looks like a man. And, the reverse. You have a trans man. Yes, trans man. Oh, that's what I was. I got it backwards. You have yes. No, I had it right. Sometimes I lose my train of thought and then I can't find it again. This bill would make trans men, these are biological women who are presenting as male, go into the ladies' bathroom. And it would make trans women who haven't fully transitioned, who present as women, from the waist up, you think it's a woman, looks like a woman, is a woman, or is presenting as female, would have to go into the men's room. And, if you have people that, like a lot of times, like I don't wear makeup a lot of the times. And there are days where it's pretty rough. And I will maybe throw on a little bit of eyeliner, my glasses, my hat, super baggy clothes to go out and about and run errands. And, what this bill does is, if you don't look like a woman, or if you don't look enough like someone's idea of what a woman is supposed to look like, then you can get called out in a ladies' room and asked to leave, even when you are a biological woman. I mean, there are women that have masculine features. There are men that have feminine features. This gives people like the freedom to just be dicks, where, what, you're not fearful. I can be a dick to someone. I can humiliate this person. Trans people have enough shit to worry about than to pile on, people either attacking them verbally or physically, or possibly getting arrested because they want to go pee. The bill requires, that different businesses and, that are either owned or leased by the state, correctional facilities, schools, blah, blah, that you either have a specifically men's room and a specifically ladies' room, or there can be a unisex bathroom. And this also applies to changing rooms where, like locker rooms or a changing area that has, like multiple, where multiple people can be in there at the same time. Um, you can do male and female or unisex. There's no like they couldn't say and unisex just to make it easier for people that are trans, that if they don't feel like dealing with the bullshit and the harassment, that they can just go into like a family bathroom, and it's crazy to me that we're now legislating dickishness. We're legislating cruelty. I know I have a couple acquaintances that are trans. Um, one is trans and non-binary as well. Wonderful person. Doesn't bother anybody and just wants to be left alone and, exist and live their life just like everybody else. But somewhere, and it's not like trans is a new thing. Like the first, what was then called a sex change operation is now gender reassignment or sex reassignment surgery. It was done in like the 70s. This isn't new. When I was in high school in the 80s, androgyny was a big thing where it didn't matter whether you were male or female. You could wear masculine clothes and makeup. A lot of the glam rock, the rock bands, masculine, very, like, well, meaning like all male bands with long hair and makeup. TV shows in the 60s, movies where men would dress in drag, and that's another thing. Like people in drag, they're not trying to hurt anyone. Um, you know, it's like it's an art form, it's performance. Julie Andrews did a movie, Victor Victoria. I think it was Victor Victoria, um, where she was dressed as a man. Well, is that drag now? She's not allowed to do that. People aren't allowed to do that. Mrs. Doubtfire. Tootsie. To Wong Fu, thanks for everything. Love, Julie Newmar. It was just, it's performance. There is nothing inherently sexual about drag. Um, and how all of a sudden it's they're Satan incarnate. And I don't agree with pointing fingers at, oh, that person over there, that group of people, they're the reason for your problem. Blame them. They're evil. It's just it's such a waste of energy. We could get so much more accomplished if we were working together. And just putting all this nonsense just aside. And we had an active shooter in Atlanta who The last time that I saw any notifications, one person had died and there were multiple people injured, and the shooter is also deceased. Um, are we really going to do same shit, different day when it comes to shootings? Um, mass shootings, and that may not be considered a mass shooting if not enough people die. I'm not sure if it's only. I don't know if it depends on the seriousness of any injuries, or if it's just people shot. Saw a story about a man on a New York subway, a man who was homeless and reportedly had was having some mental health issues. That he was on the subway and started yelling, and he was having a very bad day. He was tired, he was hungry, he was frustrated, and he just started yelling. As it can happen. You've had enough. You've had enough. And he took his coat and he threw it on the ground, or on the floor of the subway. And a person who is reportedly a Marine jumped the guy, put him in a sleeper hold, got the guy on the ground, had him pinned with his legs and, in the chokehold. Two other people helped this person hold the man down, held his legs. And he kept that man in the chokehold for approximately 15 minutes. And that homeless man, having a very bad day, is dead now. And while I can understand, you see somebody starting to freak out, and you just kind of, it draws your interest, and there is the thought, how far is this guy going to go? Or how far is this person going to go? Are we just spouting off? Are they armed? Are they going to start swinging? Are they going to start throwing something? Do I want to get involved? Am I going to get involved? You know, I can understand wanting to protect others where there is a threat. I just think that we have to kind of take a breath and see if someone is going to actually be a threat. Somebody yelling and throwing their coat on the floor is not a threat. And if you are close enough to grab them and put them in a chokehold, clearly they're not armed with any type of weapon, and I could even see wrestling the guy to the ground, and pinning him down until he calms down, or until, you can get to the next stop and, contact the police and, or an ambulance if they need some mental health assistance. It all makes sense. It's all reasonable. And, but where someone isn't an actual threat, they haven't verbally threatened anyone, they don't have a weapon in their hand, they're not concealing a weapon, they're not charging for anyone, they're not throwing anything, they just yelled a little bit and threw their coat on the floor. That's, at worst, that is some type of disorderly conduct. At worst. That misdemeanor does not have the death penalty. And, if the person who who was applying the chokehold, it was just, a regular person that was watching, loved to watch MMA and, knew what a chokehold was, knew what it looked like, how to apply it, but didn't really understand the mechanics of it and just what it does to a person's body and how quickly it does the things that it does to a person's body. Um, I could see, not realizing like, oh shoot, like I accidentally, like I didn't mean, to I didn't know that if I held this person in a chokehold for 15 minutes that they would die. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be charged with something. I mean, you caused a death. So, um, I have a little, and while absolutely support our military and our veterans, and I think that the veterans especially don't get enough. They just don't get enough once, you know, once they come home. Um, you know, military, you're trained. You're trained on, oh Jesus. You're trained on how to defend yourself. You're trained on how to subdue a combatant. You're trained hand-to-hand combat. You know what a chokehold is. You probably know multiple chokeholds and how they're applied and you know what the outcome to that is. You know, and a rear naked chokehold, which is purportedly the type of hold. It's also called a sleeper hold. You're talking about a person being unconscious in seconds, and a Marine would know that. A Marine would know that holding somebody in a rear naked chokehold for 15 minutes will absolutely end their life. And who knows if this Marine was going through something, PTSD related in that moment. Um, I get that too, that might come into play. But we're supposed to be a country based on the rule of law. So either we're based on the rule of law or we're not. And this person who killed another human being was brought to the police station, but then released without charges. And that's crazy to me. This, like, he killed another human being. I don't I don't see how there's no charges, for this person. It's on video, of this person killing another human being. Um, and maybe they just haven't figured out what they're going to charge the guy with yet, but it would seem a little silly to let the person go. Um, that part doesn't make sense. That part doesn't make sense to me, and actually killing this man for really doing nothing doesn't make any sense to me. So it's just more of the craziness of the week and or lately. And let's see, what else has there been? It's just it's just every day. There's something crazier and crazier and crazier that is devolving us more as a society. And uh, it's crazy to be on the sidelines watching it. you know, politicians, they're just going nuts. There's now like a few states where they're looking to get rid of no fault divorce when, you know, that's something like it's historically a benefit for women, so that you don't need, you can just go. You can seek it like, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm out. Watching some of this craziness. The story of a woman in Florida that when she was about 24 weeks pregnant with a child that she and her husband were very excited to be pregnant with, she found out at 24 weeks that her unborn child had no kidneys. And she was clearly past the 15 weeks, which is the current limit in Florida. And the doctors had told her that her unborn child isn't going to survive. That the condition that the child has is not compatible with life. And according to the legislation, there were two doctors that basically sign off um, on there being a medical reason that she could have received an abortion um, at 24 weeks, but her doctors wouldn't sign off because they were worried about getting arrested or being sued. So for the next 13 weeks, because they really didn't have money to go to another state to get a procedure done. So for the next 13 weeks, she remained pregnant, and her son lived for like 90 minutes in pain because her baby had no kidneys. And she is dealing not only with grief, but with postpartum depression. Uh, you know, since she's lost her child, and it's just another example of, you know, why in many instances politicians have no business um, legislating healthcare. Um, for votes. And so it is just crazy, crazy, crazy world. Yet again, I like to take Wednesdays. For anyone who may be wondering, I like to take Wednesdays to like purge negativity and just the ridiculousness that goes on. Because a lot of our conversations that we've had and will have in the future, that they can be heavy, they can be triggering, and they can be draining, and sometimes that will draw negativity. So one thing I want to do is take a day and purge that negativity, because the more you carry it around, the worse you're going to feel. And so that's what I like to do. Like middle of the week, we have our first, Monday and Tuesday are for our main topic, our main weekly topic, and then Wednesdays are just purge the nonsense, bring the crazy. We'll talk about the nuttiness. Some of the stuff that's just so ridiculous that you just have to laugh at. And then tomorrow there are no episodes on Friday or on Thursdays. Um, our next episode will be Friday, which is a fun day Friday, and that's all about, you know, embracing the positive and, starting the weekend off, in a great mood. And I want to thank everyone again for joining, listening, commenting, subscribing. Um, just every bit of it has just been just so humbling. To know that in the last week, almost 20,000 people have seen my content, um, and have responded in some way or another. Sure, not all 20,000. That would be insane. Um, you know, but it just like it feels good. Um, and hopefully that increases because I really want to see, just constructive dialogue and positive change. And, I just think it would be amazing if we, the people, united under, I don't want to say a single banner, but as far as, with human rights, civil rights, that that we made it more of a team effort where it's okay, you know what? You need help with getting these rights for you. Cool, I'm going to help you with that. And I need help, with this area. So you guys all help me with this. Um, I think that's as much as possible, that's the way that it should be. Um, but I am very appreciative of everyone that has shown any kind of interest in the podcast, in the content, and I will see everyone on Friday. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening and a great day tomorrow, and see you all on Friday. Bye.